Good evening and thanks for joining us on Nationwide. I'm Elizabeth Omori. 86 persons have been confirmed dead in Saturday's tanker explosion at Diko Junction and their remains given mass burial at a site not too far from the scene of the tragic incident. A statement by the Director General, Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Baba Ara, indicates that about 55 people sustained injuries and are currently receiving treatment at the Diko Primary Health Center, while acknowledging the collaborative efforts of brave and kind-hearted volunteers who worked till midnight to ensure that those that lost their lives were evacuated and other debris cleared from the scene. The DG says medical personnel have been deployed to the primary health facility in the area. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu expresses deep sorrow over the fuel tanker explosion, which caused death and injuries to many at Diko Junction in Niger State. In a statement, President Tinubu expresses his condolences to the families affected as well as to the government and people of Niger State. He underscores the tragic and preventable nature of the incident, as many victims were those scooping premium motor spirit from the tanker. The President has directed the provision of comprehensive medical care to the injured and instructed security and road safety authorities to implement measures to avert similar incidents. President Tinubu strongly advises all citizens to exercise caution and avoid approaching accident sites, especially those involving fuel-laden vehicles due to their highly explosive nature. Additionally, the President has mandated the National Orientation Agency to initiate a nationwide educational campaign. This campaign will raise public awareness about the severe risks and environmental dangers of scooping fuel from falling tankers. And former President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed his heartfelt condolences on the loss of lives following the explosion. He expressed disappointment that the practice of scooping fuel is becoming more common in spite of warnings from authorities and the devastating loss of lives. While condoling with the government and people of Niger State, the former president wishes speedy recovery to those injured. Similarly, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, is currently at the palace of the Emir of Suleja to sympathize with the people over the petrol tanker accident, which claimed many lives at Diko in Niger State. A tanker load of petrol exploded at about midday on Saturday around Diko Junction along the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway, claiming several lives. Governor Mohammed Umaru Bago, who visited the scene of the tanker explosion, directed that no vehicle coming from Marji access should be allowed to pass through Diko for now. Citizens have continued to send condolence messages concerning the tragedy, urging drivers to adhere strictly to traffic rules, while President Tinubu has called on the National Orientation Agency to embark on a nationwide awareness and sensitization campaign on the dangers of scooping fuel from a tanker. In the same vein, Senator representing Niger East Senatorial District Sani Musa commiserate with victims and loved ones of those who tragically lost their lives in the devastating fuel tank accident at Diko, one of the communities in Niger East Senatorial District, on Saturday. The senator, who described the tragic incident as a personal loss, underscores the urgent need to heighten caution and adhere to safety standards on the Nigerian highways, urging all to reflect on this tragedy and collectively work to ensure Nigerian highways are safe for everyone. He prays Allah to grant the departed souls peace and wishes the injured quick recovery. And the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Nantawe Yilwada, commiserates with the government and people of Niger State over the tanker explosion. Professor Yilwada commends the State Governor, Umaru Bago, for the prompt action taken and other relevant agencies such as the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Fire Service, Federal Road Safety Corps and the Nigeria Police in evacuating victims at the scene. Still on the tanker explosion, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, expresses his condolences to the government and people of Niger State following the devastating tanker explosion. In a statement, IGP Egbetokun emphasized the urgent need for strict adherence to road safety protocols to prevent such avoidable disasters. He has directed all state commissioners of police to reinforce their motor traffic divisions in collaboration with traffic management agencies to ensure compliance with traffic regulations on highways. In another news, the attention of the presidency has been drawn to some fake news on social media about an arbitration proceeding in Paris to which the Nigerian government is a party. A statement clarifies that the private proceeding, which should not have been reported in the media, is entirely confidential until the international arbitrators decide. While respecting the confidentiality of the proceeding, the presidency wishes to state categorically that President Bola Tinubu did not force anyone to testify for or to refrain from testifying against Nigeria. All eminent Nigerians involved in Nigeria's defense are doing so willingly and out of sheer patriotism and conviction, and President Tinubu and the entire country are grateful to them. Now, the federal government has announced that Nigeria has accepted the invitation to join BRICS as a partner country. A statement by the acting spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs says the partnership will help align Nigeria's aspirations for inclusive growth and regional integration in line with best practices of strategic autonomy. Leveraging this partnership, Nigeria will further advance its shared goals in areas such as trade and investment, energy security, infrastructure development, technology, and climate change. The ministry points out that the formal acceptance to join the BRICS as a collective of major emerging economies represents a unique platform that highlights Nigeria's commitment to fostering international collaboration, economic opportunities, enhanced trade, investment, and socio-economic cooperation with member countries. This is Nationwide on NTA. Let's pause here and head to Lagos, where Adeola is standing by with some reports. Adeola. Is standing by with
Good
some
to
reports.
see you. The Nigeria Customs Service has pre-launched and reviewed its pilot takeoff program in order to align Nigeria with global standards in trade facilitation and supply chain security, bolstering the nation's economic development. The scheme, authorized economic operator program, stakeholders say, is one that boosts efficiency and effectiveness of service. Larry Bilei has details.
The program, launched on the 15th of April 2024, involves 6 pilot beneficiaries across diverse sectors, including importers, logistics operators, and small and medium-scale enterprises, has now provided the nation's customs service insight into the needs and expectations of stakeholders as they move forward to the next phase of the program, which is to lay a solid foundation for the full commencement.
It is all about compliance. When you're a compliant trader, you enjoy the benefit because it is for you to be admitted. Actually, it is not just like everyone can walk into that scheme, and be a beneficiary. And trade is all about trust. I must be trusted as well to enjoy the benefit.
The whole idea is to ease cost of doing business. Money loves speed, and speed will attach itself to efficient processes. We've seen companies who record losses of over 100 billion, in the annual financial reports, and that is not good. So this is Nigeria Customs Service coming to say, no, we can have these multinationals who are like a foreign direct investment closing shop in Nigeria.
The results of the 4-month period of the pilot phase since the 2nd of September 2024, the service say is remarkable, having saved 100 million naira and brought about improvement in efficiency, streamlining processes, and ensuring that goods move swiftly and securely through the supply chain. Authorized Economic Operator AEO is a program that certifies businesses involved in international trade and meet certain security and compliance standards. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian Army has assured Nigerians that it is always ready to carry out its constitutional mandates given to the force, primarily the protection of the nation's territorial integrity. This assurance was given at the Combined West Africa Social Activities Wasa by the 81 Division, Engineering and Administration Regiment within Lagos. Again, Larry Millet completes the report.
Formations and services under Headquarters 81 Division of the Nigerian Army, Lagos State came together to celebrate each other and to mark the end of another successful year with a socio-cultural event, the West Africa Social Activities, Wasa. It is also a celebration of the new year with renewed vigor, readiness and steadfastness to combat all security challenges that could affect the territorial integrity of the country.
Wasa also heralds the beginning of a new year full of hopes and great expectations. I commend officers and soldiers of 81 Division for a successful year 2024. The division has effectively executed all training activities outlined in the Nigerian Army Training Directive 2024.
The governor of Lagos State, represented, gave kudos to the nation's army men and women for their sacrifices and resilience, making them the symbol of the nation's unity.
Your efforts in combating insecurity, maintaining law and order, and supporting civil authorities in times of need have been instrumental in ensuring the sovereignty, safety, vibrancy, and prosperity of our dear nation.
Different cultural displays and tug of war by female soldiers were highlights of the celebration. Outstanding soldiers who excelled in various assignments in the past year were also recognized. This yearly event has become an all-important one in the Nigerian Army calendar. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos. Jenny in Port Harcourt will bring you the next set of reports on Nationwide when we return from this break.
Good evening and welcome to Port Harcourt. The fire incident at an oil facility in Bukuma community in Rivers State has been attributed to massive illegal bunkering activities in the area. The Director of Energy Security and National Security Advisor, Ajukai Flag-Amakri, made the observation when he led the federal government delegation on an on-the-spot assessment of the facility, where he instructed the operators to put out the fire effective immediately or face sanction.
The fire outbreak, which eyewitnesses say began on January 1, 2025, has left a devastating impact on the people and the immediate environment. While the river has been taken over by crude oil, the sound of the fire could be heard miles away from the burning oil facility. The federal government team, led by the Director of Energy Security, National Security Advisor, Ojukaya Flag-Amakri, condemned the activity of those who engage in illegal bunkering in the communities around the seashore. He said the federal government loses huge resources which negatively impact the nation's economy to such activities, and assured of collaborative efforts between the federal government and the Niger Delta states to foster such occurrence.
Behind me, you see that you see a flame coming out. It's Bukuma Well 8. Operated by NMPC 18. The flame is as a result of bunkering activities happening around here. We are going to visit all the oil wells and you see what is happening.
Ojukaya Makri also reiterated President Tinubu's zero tolerance to illegal bunkering and pipeline vandalism.
We want to advise the community that they can no longer sit down and watch these criminals to come into their community, destroy the environment and sabotage the Nigerian economy. The National Security Advisor is doing everything to ensure that the President's directive is carried out.
The River State Ministry of Environment and other critical stakeholders have visited the area to ascertain level of damage and are considering possible measures to end pipeline vandalism. From Degema local government area of River State, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
A popular maxim, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, played out at the 6th Division Nigerian Army Port Harcourt when its personnel shared their uniforms for traditional outfits to celebrate the 2024 West African Social Activities, Wasa. The event aimed at showcasing Nigeria's diverse cultures inherent within the military barracks and community, also afforded officers and their families the atmosphere to socialize and interact with their non-military friends. Diba Barisiedo Maweke was there for NTA News.
The gallant commitment of troops in protecting the nation's territorial integrity is sacrosanct, hence appreciating the troops and families and creating an avenue for officers and men to engage and interact in a relaxed atmosphere is the rationale behind the annual West African Social Activities celebration, an age-long heritage aimed at strengthening the existing bonds among different ethnic groups in the military.
We will continue to conscientiously perform our constitutional roles to defend Nigeria's democratic values. It is intended that the successes achieved will be leveraged on this guidance of the two army staff.
River State Governor Simnala Efuba commended the troops for their resilience and promised more synergy from the government.
The River State government particularly are impressed with the zeal and dedication, vigor with which confront identity security challenges within the states and outside the states.
The performances were glittering, while cultural dances and displays were made to be competitive.
Commissioner, you will know this particular dance step. When you dancers. Thank you, the PCRC.
The soldiers and men were presented with different categories of awards for their outstanding performance during the year. The Nigerian Army reiterates that the essence of West African social activities is to ensure that officers and men of the Nigerian Army do not forget or abandon their traditions and culture due to the exigencies of military life. In Port Harcourt, Dibabari Siedomameke, NTA News.
The report from Port Harcourt nationwide continues with Elizabeth in Abuja.
Thank you so much. Governor Umar Namadi has inaugurated 50 units of one-bedroom apartments with a school and Jumat Mosque at Malam Maduri local government area of Jigawa State. The project, executed in collaboration with the Qatar Charity Foundation, will be distributed to widows, orphans and other vulnerable people from nearby communities. Mohamed Musa Askira reports.
This project is initiated and executed by the Jigawa State government in collaboration with Qatar Charity Foundation to ameliorate the hardship widows, orphans and other less privileged in the society pass through in life. The 50 units of one-bedroom apartments with a school and a community mosque is designed to make life easy for the beneficiaries. Governor Umar Namadi reaffirmed his determination to ensuring the provision of decent housing estates for the teeming populace in the state while appreciating the support of Qatar Charity Foundation in this direction.
The state government will take the further appropriate action to provide complementary services to ensure that social and economic life of the people in all surrounding communities are improved sustainably.
We'll extend this project in another empty land for another 50 houses in 2024, inshallah, and we'll add big borehole to serve all these houses, all our widows and orphans in this area, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The Prophet says, those who cares for orphans and myself will be in the paradise like this. So may Allah reward you for what you have done to us.
I urge the beneficiaries of this project to make good use of it and take care of it as it is now yours.
These houses and the school are provided for the beneficiaries free of charge. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Ebonyi State government has airlifted 204 citizens for postgraduate studies in the United Kingdom, aimed at equipping them with global perspective for all-round development of the state and the country at large. Caleb Ogbonna reports.
Inception of office, Governor Francis Nwifuru identified human capital development anchored on skills acquisition through education as one of the cardinal frontiers to relaunch the development template of the state. In furtherance of this agenda, the State Scholarship Board was reactivated with a mandate to enroll 1,000 citizens annually for postgraduate studies, both within and outside the country. The initiative gave birth to the airlift of 204 students, with 541 engaged within the country.
Our People's Charter of Needs manifesto has carefully identified scholarship and literacy as critical drivers for a better and guaranteed future. Today, we celebrate not just an investment in education, but an investment in the future of our dearest states.
For the people and the beneficiaries, it is a wide dream that became a reality.
Going to study cloud and network security. I'm so overwhelmed by the gesture of the governor.
I'm going to bring down most of the things I learned in my studies to my state, to develop my state.
The program is targeted at producing graduates with global perspectives that will man emerging developmental institutions of government, which includes the ICT University of Erekpe, Aeronautic University Onweke, and 39 model secondary schools, among others. In Abakaliki, Caleb Ogbonna, NTA News.
Now, the World Bank is sustaining intervention in improving access to primary health care centers in Nasarawa State with community mobilization for rural dwellers to leverage investments in the health sector and access facilities to achieve quality health care for all. Aliu Tijani reports that the World Bank and the state government adopted strategies that will encourage rural population patronize healthcare facilities in their domains.
For a distance of every 5 kilometers in Nasarawa State, record shows there is a primary healthcare center, bringing the total number of the facilities to 780. With interventions from the World Bank through the Immunization Plus and Malaria Progress by accelerating coverage and transforming service, Impact Project, which is upgrading and equipping primary healthcare centers in the state. The patronage of these facilities by rural dwellers, stakeholders say, is low.
The quality of healthcare delivery is top-notch. So we want our people to know that when they go to facilities, they will find drugs available, they will find health workers available. As I'm talking to you now, last year the Nasarawa State Governor engaged not less than 1,800 health workers to support the delivery of health services in the PHCs.
To change the narrative and reduce mortality, stakeholders converge and commit to mobilize the rural population to access primary healthcare centers rather than engage services of quackery or self-medication.
One of the important work of Impact is that revitalization of primary healthcare. This is in synergy with federal government and the state government, but at least it will come to much benefit to the local government and impact to the state in general.
Local governments, traditional rulers and opinion leaders all pledge to mobilize rural dwellers and ensure attitudinal change towards primary healthcare centers for a healthier and productive population. Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
Still talking health, the Bayelsa State government has swung into action to halt the suspected outbreak of cholera in different communities across the 5 local government areas of the state. Commissioner for Health, while giving the situation report in an interview with NTA News, urged the general public to maintain good hygiene and not resort to self-medication. Ebinimi Zitimiola reports.
Cholera is a bacterial disease that causes severe diarrhea and dehydration. If not treated quickly, can lead to death. The recent outbreak of cholera in some states in Nigeria and suspected cases in Bayelsa State calls for action.
The State Ministry of Health, and which I know they are doing now,
should be able to reach out to all the facilities in the state and also ensure that the water the people consume now should be that kind of treated water.
To contain the spread of the disease, the Bayelsa State government has activated an emergency response team for active surveillance and management of suspected cases in 5 local government areas.
We had positive REDTs, probably around 5, and then we also have confirmed cases of, I think, 2 in 2 locations. We have also in the hospital settings, both our primary healthcare centers and our secondary healthcare centers, we've intervened over 600 to 800 cases, both on outpatient and inpatient basis. But the good news is that in all these cases, we have not recorded any deaths in our facility.
Members of the public enlightened to take responsibility, ensure good environmental and personal hygiene practices to protect public health while providing commodities and logistics to get to the hard-to-reach communities. Ebinimi Zitemiola, NTA News.
And our next set of reports is from Maiduguri, where Wadiam is standing by.
Respect and welcome to Maiduguri. Good evening. Humanitarian and development partners have assured Borno State government of continued support to its recovery drive as the state authorities resettled 14 displaced communities at 2,000 housing resettlement estate in Mongono town. Muhammad Goni reports.
Bala Maguria, Falmata Musa and their families are part of the 1,875 households from 14 communities beneficiaries of the resettlement estate, comprising 1,000 houses and 900 transitional sheds with all basic amenities built by the Borno State government through the regional stabilization facilities. Each head of household received food and non-food items and 50,000 naira cash, while each housewife got 20,000 naira. Borno State government solely built 500 houses, toilets, and the clinic within the estate, while the UNDP built 500 houses and the 900 transition sheds, as well as close to 400 street lights, among other basic amenities. Governor Zulum had, while expressing gratitude to the donor partners and UNDP, also reiterated commitment to resettling more displaced communities before the end of his tenure.
These accommodations play a crucial role in the voluntary decongestion and eventual closure of some IDP camps in Mongono, ensuring a smoother transition to certain families.
The housing project is also a great example of cooperation between the government of Borno State and international partners.
This initiative not only provided homes, but also economic opportunities, creating temporary jobs for over 200 youth, IDPs, returnees, and former associates. This has fostered social cohesion and reconciliation amongst host communities.
Senator Mohamed Tahir Mongono appreciated Governor Zulum as well as the humanitarian and donor partners for their support and for giving hope to the conflict-affected persons in his constituencies.
The resettlement has given a new life to the returnees who have been in camps for many years, and their children, most of whom were born within the camp, knowing nothing outside the confines of the four walls of the camp. From Mongono headquarters of Mongono local government, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army says it will continue to come up with initiatives that will strengthen unity in diversity, as well as facilitate the restoration of peace to the Northeast region. That was the focus of the 2024 Combined West African Social Activities, Wasa, organized by the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Haɗin Kai in Maiduguri. Abubakar Musa reports.
It was indeed a convergence of soldiers and their families, as well as the civilian population in general, towards remaining one indivisible entity, despite diverse cultural, traditional, and religious backgrounds. It is also set aside to appraise performances and challenges within the year under review, as well as usher in the new year. Just as the name implies, West African Social Activities provides an opportunity for participants to showcase different cultural activities, including tug of war, presentation of gifts, beating of retreat, and lighting of bonfire. Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, represented by the State Head of Service, acknowledged the cohesion and love the event brought, especially the cultural diversity and hospitality, and reaffirmed government's commitment to continue working with the Nigerian Army.
Let me, on behalf of the government and the people of Borno State, congratulate the Theatre Commander Major General W. Shuaibu and the General Officer, Commander 7 Division Major General AGL Haruna on their tireless efforts and unwavering commitment, dedication to fight against terrorism.
The Headquarters Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Harcourt and 7th Division combined Nigerian Army social activities for year 2024 is a viable forum of our officers, soldiers and their families here in Malari Cantonment to unwind and also to be grateful to the Almighty God for seeing us through the past year.
The ceremony is no doubt a testament to harmonious coexistence, bringing together diverse people to celebrate togetherness. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
That is our contribution from Maiduguri. We'll now take another break, then Elizabeth will take it from there in Abuja.
This is Nationwide on NTA. An attempt by a 26-year-old female student of nursing at an Indian university to swallow 76 wraps of cocaine hours before her return flight to the South Asian country through the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport in Kano was thwarted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports that illicit consignments heading to Maiduguri, Kano, Abuja were nabbed during the week under review.
The suspect was scheduled to return to Delhi, India from Malam Aminu Kano International Airport on Friday, 17th January 2025, but was arrested in her hotel room in Kano at 11:30 p.m. on Thursday, 16th January 2025. Her lid was blown open when NDLEA operatives on patrol along Okene-Lokoja Highway in Kogi State arrested her partner in crime en route Kano with 76 pallets of cocaine, which she was going to deliver to her in Kano. She claimed to be recruited by a cartel in India, from where she was promised $5,000 upon successful delivery of the illicit consignment. In other operations along the Okene-Lokoja-Abuja Highway, NDLEA officers arrested 4 suspects who were heading to Maiduguri in a commuter vehicle with over 38,000 pills of tramadol concealed in audio speaker and clothes. In Lagos, operatives of NDLEA on Tuesday, 14th January, raided the hideout of a 59-year-old man where they recovered 10 parcels of Canadian loud. 2 suspects were arrested on Saturday, 18 January, when NDLEA officers raided their home where 28 kilograms of Canadian loud were recovered following credible intelligence. In Kano, 2 suspects were on Friday, 17 January, arrested at Dawakin Tofa local government area, where a total of 7.6 kilograms conks, 78 tubes of rubber solution, and 356 bottles of soak and dye, a new psychoactive substance, were recovered from them. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Away from drug interception, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested 25 suspected internet fraudsters in a cybercrime training center in Benin City, Edo State. A statement by the commission says the arrest was triggered by incredible intelligence that indicated that the apartment was being used as a Yahoo Academy for internet-related fraud and other fraudulent activities. Items recovered from the suspects include 6 cars, laptops, and phones. The suspects will be arraigned as soon as investigations are concluded. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, says he will continue to boost troops' morale in the ongoing fight against insurgency and banditry by prioritizing the welfare and provision of equipment. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Chief of Army Staff stated this at the 2024 West African Social Activities, Wasa, organized by the Nigerian Army Garrison in Abuja.
It's the annual West African Social Activity, Wasa, an age-long tradition in the Nigerian Army, aimed at bringing together personnel and their families to strengthen the existing bonds among different ethnic groups in the military. The 2024 event, devoid of much regimentation, is an avenue to acknowledge and reward hard work and promote unity among officers, soldiers, and the barracks community.
The contemporary security environment in which the Nigerian Army operates is highly demanding, such that family fun time is reduced to near zero. This social engagement therefore offers a way out of Army headquarters to fund and encourage social interactions and fun within our barracks.
Wasa plays a vital role of eliciting nostalgia amongst the older generation of the barracks community by reminding them of the memorable traditions of typical Nigerian villages, and at the same time connecting the younger generation who were probably born outside their traditional communities to their roots.
The recognition and celebration of our cultural diversity and its richness by the Nigerian military has allowed the institution to stand tall over the years and to succeed at promoting the unity and corporate existence of our dear nation.
The social program is also a celebration that marks the end of a successful 2024 training year. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army Corps of Artillery has reaffirmed its commitment to consistent training aimed at providing effective firepower support to all formations, operations, and overcoming the country's contemporary security challenges. The Corps resolve was highlighted during the combined 2024 West African Social Activities of the Kontagora Cantonment. Mukhtar Wowo reports.
Combined West African Social Activities Wasa of the Headquarters Nigerian Army Corps of Artillery, the Headquarters Nigerian Army Training Center, and the 311 Artillery Regiment Kontagora Barracks signifies the end of the year 2024 training activities and ushered in the 2025 training year in the Army formations and the units. In their separate remarks, the Commander Nigerian Army Corps of Artillery and the Commander Nigerian Army Training Center, Kontagora, say the Army recorded successes in 2024 while promising more training for the Army personnel to accomplish their constitutional responsibilities of defending the fatherland.
So the artillery consistently train to ensure that we give that needed firepower to all Nigerian Army operations.
The past 12 calendar months has witnessed a lot of successes.
The unique tradition of the West African Social Activities Wasa is an age-long event which brings families of officers and soldiers as well as the members of their host communities together in a social and conducive atmosphere, dining and wining.
As we celebrate our cultural diversity, let us not forget the importance of unity and cohesion. Our nation is stronger when we come together.
Talk of war, the beating of the retreat, and the presentation of award to soldiers who distinguished themselves during their under review, as well as lighting of the bonfire climaxed the event. In Kontagora, Mukhtar Wowo, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja to represent Nigeria at the 2025 annual meeting of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. The Vice President will join world leaders, top business executives and development partners at the meeting to discuss the state of the world economy. While in Davos, the Vice President will hold bilateral meetings with other leaders as well as participate in workshops and forums slated for the annual gathering. Among events slated for the VP include a workshop titled Roadmap to Co-Create Investment Opportunities for Africa's Frontiers Markets, organized by the African Development Bank in collaboration with the World Economic Forum to boost the flow of capital in Africa to scale up solutions that will build a prosperous, inclusive and resilient economy. Top on the agenda will be an announcement of the Humanitarian and Resilience Investment Roadmap for Africa in partnering with the African Development Bank and foster partnerships between public and private sector leaders interested in mobilizing investment in Africa's frontier markets, among others. It will also co-chair a forum on turning digital trade into a catalyst for growth in Africa, slated for the Pasha Congress Center. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, DD Esther Wilson-Jack, will lead 20 heads of service in the first phase of a two-part study tour to Singapore, an initiative designed to enhance Nigeria's civil service by leveraging a globally renowned Singapore public service model and adapt them to Nigeria's civil service for improving efficiency and accountability. The head of the civil service said it is a concerted effort to achieve the renewed hope agenda by building capacity, strengthening the collaboration between the federal and state services, and consolidating the full implementation of the reform initiatives of the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2025. She emphasized that the tour demonstrates the federal government's unwavering commitment to reforming and modernizing the public service, drawing from international best practices, and is driven by the commitment to strengthen public service reforms, promoting digital transformation and innovation, building capacity for effective policy formation and implementation, fostering public-private partnerships and enhancing the collaboration between federal and state civil services. The three-day tour will give the delegation first-hand exposure to Singapore's governance, structure, resource management and operational strategies. Institutions to be visited include the Public Service Division, the Civil Service College, the UNDP-supported Global Center for Public Service Excellence, and the Infocom Media Development Authority. The study tour discussed the federal government's unwavering commitment to advancing governance and institutional reforms in line with global best practices and promises a brighter future for Nigeria's civil service, and it has received support from the United Nations Development Program. Now let's talk sports. Enyimba set to take on Zamalek in last group game of the CAF Confederation. Sulaiman Musa brings us details.
Zamalek of Egypt are set to host Enyimba International in their final CAF Confederation Cup group game in a couple of minutes at the Cairo International Stadium. In a must-win match to stand a chance to progress to the quarter-final, Stanley Eguma's Enyimba are sitting third in Group D with 5 points after 5 matches. Already qualified Zamalek with a game to spare top Group D with 11 points after 5 games. The match in Cairo is crucial for Enyimba, as anything short of winning will end their continental campaign for the season. To other news, Lagos State teams, male and female, have been crowned champions of the Season 3 Nigerian Secondary School Flag Football League TAG Aketi Ball 2 in Calabar, Cross River State, after pulsating finals with their Akwa Ibom State counterparts.
I assure you that we are going to develop American football in Cross River State. I want to wish you the best, and to tell you that His Excellency the Governor of Cross River State is very interested about sport development, and we will continue to ensure that we put in our best to develop sport in Cross River State.
To cricket, following a thunderstorm rain, Nigeria and Samoa were both awarded 1 point each after their opening Group C match at the ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup was abandoned. The game set to take place at the cricket ground in Sarawak, Malaysia, was called off without a toss taking place. Nigeria will face New Zealand in their second match on Monday, January 20th at the same venue before concluding their Group C campaign against South Africa on Wednesday, January 22. This is the first time ever a Nigerian cricket team has qualified for ICC World Cup. And finally, Novak Djokovic continued his bid for a record 25th Grand Slam title with a 6-3-6-4-7-6 win against Czech Republic's 24th seed, Jiří Lehečka. Djokovic will renew rivalry against Alcaraz in the last 8 after the Spaniard progressed when British number 1 Jack Draper retired with a hip injury earlier today. Alcaraz beat Djokovic in the past 2 Wimbledon finals, but the Serb got the better of the 21-year-old to win gold at Paris Olympics last summer. With Sports Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
And Sports Update ends nationwide this evening. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good evening.